Welcome to the Bridging the Generation podcast. I'm your host, Malak Arif, and today I got a very, very special guest. My next artist, he's an accomplished rapper slash songwriter who has written for a lot of artists in the game. He also was a 2014 XXL Freshman. He's a Dr. Dre protege, and he hails from the same city as one of my favorite MCs, the late MC Breed. I'm talking about none other than Flint, Michigan's own, the one and only Jon Connor. Let's go. All the way from Fly City, man. Word to Andre Rising, man. We got the one and only Jon Connor, man. What's going on, baby?
Yes, sir, man. It's love. Blessed, man. Thank you for having me, King.
Hey, fam. It's an honor, brother. You know, you're one of those elite MCs, man, that I think more people should know about. We gonna get all into that, man. But you've been putting it down in the game for a minute now, man. And I love and respect what you do, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm humbled, bro. It's a gift from the Most High, and I'm just the vessel that it travels through. So I'm blessed and humbled, man. Thank you.
Nah, man, you definitely a special talent, man. We gonna get into all of that, man. So first of all, man, like, how's everything holding up with you with this, you know, with the COVID, everything that's going on, man? You know, shows getting canceled and, you know, people getting sick, and just a lot of craziness going on in the world, man. How you holding up, brother?
Well, man, I'm good. You know, I'm in good health. My family, my mother, my father, my stepfather, my stepmother, everybody's in good health. My sister. Okay. So I'm grateful for that. My two nieces, unfortunately, had COVID. So anybody listening to this right now, just keep Olivia and Nevaeh in y'all prayers. You know what I'm saying? My little nieces, you know, two beautiful kids, man, and you know, and they're gonna pull it through. But you know, it's been all good. It's been all good though.
Yeah, man. Definitely gonna send my prayers, man, and my love out to them, man. You know, it's real crazy. It's unfortunate, man, that, you know, a lot of people have succumbed to this shit, man. But I'm glad you here, brother. You know, you looking good, man. You know, you look like you ain't miss a beat, man.
Thank you. It's love.
You know, man. So look, man. Hey, I want to start from the beginning, brother. I want to start from the beginning. So first of all, man, the name, man, Jon Connor, is that your real name, or is that like from the movie, man, the Terminator, man? How did you come up with that name, Jon Connor, brother?
Yeah, my government name is Jan Freeman. Jan Kevin Freeman. That's my name. I'm Jan Kevin Freeman Jr., you know what I mean? Yeah. So the Jon Connor thing came just because I'm a huge movie fan. I'm a movie nerd, bro. Comic books, WWE, movies. Yeah. That was always my thing. So I just remember when I was 18, man, I was watching, I had watched the Terminator movies back to back. And I don't know why some things, you know, hit you at one time and not another time or whatever, but I had watched them back to back. And it was like, you know what, damn, I want to mean that much to hip hop. I want to mean that much to the world as that character Jon Connor did. Because all of these things happen because of this one person's existence. You know what I mean? So I wanted my message to be as significant as that character was in that film.
Okay, that's dope, man. That's dope, man. The Terminator, that's a classic right there, man. And I always like that was stood out to me about you, man. Like when you came on the scene, man, yo, you had like Jon Connor. I'm thinking like, hold on, yo. That's a very unique name, man. So I said, man, again, whenever I get the opportunity to ask you, man, I would love to ask how you came up with that.
Yeah, that's how it happened, man. It was like, you know what? Because before that, you know, everybody got their hood nicknames. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, talk about your original name. Talk about your original name.
My original rap name was Do So, because in the hood, like they called me Deucey, Do So, Deuce, because I was the second. You know what I'm saying? I was named after my father, so I was always Deuce in the neighborhood. So for a long time, I was Do So. You know what I mean? And I was like, when I became Jon Connor, another reason why I picked the name was because at the time I was moving away from Flint and I was going to Full Sail in Orlando, Florida, in Winter Park, Florida, right?
Okay.
So I wanted to separate myself from anything that I had done up until that point, because it was like I didn't want any dudes or any of the cats that I was separating from to feel like, well, we did this or we helped him do that. I'm like, nah, I want a whole nother name, and anything that comes from Jon Connor, I did that on my own. Like, I don't have nobody else to thank or ain't no guesswork. Like, I took a name that didn't mean shit, and then I put work in and gave it value. So I wanted to be able to just create just to create a new storyline for myself at that point. I just wanted to leave everything behind and start anew.
Okay. So originally, man, you born and raised in Flint, Michigan, man.
Sure.
You know, born and raised. How was it, you know, growing up in Flint, man? I always felt like Flint was one of those cities, man, that has been overlooked, man, even though you guys have an immense of talent, man, coming out of Flint, man. What was it like growing up in Flint?
Well, first, thank you for the compliments of recognizing the abundance of talent that's, you know what I'm saying, coming out of Flint, from MC Breed, the Dayton family, Top of 30, Ready for the World, Terry Crews, Clarissa Shields, Andre and Anthony Durrell, the Flintstones, Mateen Cleaves, Morris Peterson, Andre Rising. Like, it could keep going on and on. And even till right now, the young cats coming out. Kyle Kuzma, like, it's part of the new wave. Man, my little young homie YNJ making noise. Man, it's a lot of dope artists like coming out of the crib. But what was it like growing up in Flint, man? It was as real as they say it is. You know what I'm saying? But I would guess, you know, I don't want to, you know, I never want to just over sensationalize my hood, because I'm sure every hood in America is rough. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure if you ask somebody from Chicago, though, they're gonna say it's real as hell. You ask somebody from Compton, so I feel like, you know, the black poverty is the same all across the country. You know what I'm saying? If you it's certain like details about each hood that makes them different, but overall, if you've been to one hood, you done been to them all. So, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You know where not to go at certain times. You know who not to be around. You know, and Flint is very small. So it's like, if you get into any type of beef or drama, you really can't run nowhere, because everybody know everybody. Everybody went to high school with everybody, or everybody knows such and such cousin, or such and such baby daddy is such and such his uncle. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody know each other. So that's what makes growing up in Flint kind of dangerous, that if you get into any type of beef or drama, there's really nowhere you can hide from that. So the fact that it is, is heavy poverty, but then at the same time, the population is low. And at the same time, we're not really a big city, you know, it make it real dangerous. So for me, and I want to make it clear too, as we talk, I never portrayed to be no street dude. I just grew up around street shit. And you know what I mean? So for me, it was like, I always stayed away from that. Music was always my hustle. I ain't never sold a nan drug in my life. I ain't never glorified it, because I had family members who was on drugs, like, you know what I'm saying? And I seen like, ain't nothing cool about that. I got homies that was involved in street shit and they got popped and murdered. So I don't try to glorify that type of shit in my music, because I grew up around that. So if anything, growing up in Flint just taught me, if there's anything that I can do through this music to like make people go away from trapping and get away from us killing each other and get away from all that, then that's what I wanted to do, because I seen a lot of it growing up. I just never wanted to glamorize it. So a lot of times I would get that whole Connor ain't no street dude. I'm not. I never wanted to be. I just grew up around it. So for me, it's like, I'll tell the stories of, you know, what happens when you involved in that life because of the things I seen. But I say Flint, man, growing up here, you know, it's one of them things, what don't kill you make you stronger. It makes you a stronger, tougher person. It gives you that thick skin that you need, man.
Okay. So growing up in Flint, you know,
like you said, man, Ready for the World, man. You guys got Andre Rison, man. Like, who are some of the people that that when you were younger? Cause me and you not deaf. We're probably around this, probably around the same age. What were some of your earliest musical influences? Growing up in Flint, man.
Earliest musical influences, man.
Not just now. Let me say this. Not just in Flint. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we got Ready for the World, and I know that's an R&B group. And I love R&B, but a lot of people don't know that you guys got a rich musical history, man. So, could you talk about like what was some of the earliest influences as far as Flint and musically, and some of your just earliest musical influences, period, man?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, in Flint, everybody must know that it's like. Everybody must know the words to MC Breeze, Ain't No Future in Your Front. That's like the national anthem here. You know what I'm saying? This sound hard. Some fucking people gonna dance to. Get a record a second and a chance to. It's like that was for us. That was our national anthem. So MC Breeze was the first one to really show us that the music thing was possible as far as hip hop go. Right. And like I said, my dad's a musician as well. So I grew up in the music scene, seeing my dad rehearse with different bands and stuff like that. My dad is like my first musical influence, period, because in my house it was always music with him playing the guitar, playing the keys, playing the drums. And he played with a lot of different bands in the city. So it's like for me, I'm a music dude first, a hip hop dude second, I would say, because I out the womb I just love music, period. Hip hop is the the avenue in which I can express my talents. What I could do musically, but I love all music. So for me, man, Prince, Michael Jackson, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Carole King, Cyndi Lauper.
You didn't just say Carole King, man.
yeah, Carole King, Luther Vandross, Bobby Womack, Seal. Man, who else I be listening to? Fleetwood Mac. Man, it's so many, man.
Stevie Nicks.
I could just keep going on and on, man. Doobie Brothers.
Man, Michael, I got an interview with Michael McDonald coming up, by the way.
What? Bruh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Man. Yeah, I'm about to retire after that, man.
After that, you good. If it mean anything, man, to him, man, like Jon Connor from Flint, Michigan is a huge Michael McDonald Doobie Brothers fan, man, for real.
Yeah, we got a lot in common. We got more in common, man, musically than I thought, because when I listen to your music, man, I hear a lot of different pop culture references. I hear a lot of references as far as like just things within the culture, like just within Black culture, things and within society. What I'm trying to say is like you're a very well diverse artist, man. When did you decide like, what, this is the direction that I'm going to go, opposed to being this type of artist? Because you guys got the Dayton family and you got MC Breed, and no disrespect to them, because Breed he a legend to me. Dayton family, not the biggest Dayton family, but I know of them. But what you do is different. What you do is different from what they do, and what you do is very unique and different from what a lot of other artists do. So how did you come about as far as developing your own style?
I had to give all credit to my mother. My mom told me, once I told her that I was gonna rap when I was 12 years old, she just said, whatever you do, just be yourself. Tell your story. Nobody could be you better than you. So it was like at that point, and she was like, and she also told me too, she was like, okay, I don't care if you cuss, as long as it's for a purpose. It's helping you get your point across in the music. You know what I mean? So I have to give what I do all credit to my mother, because she always told me just to tell my story, tell my truth as I see it. Gotcha. So for me, it wasn't never like I was trying to be something that I wasn't, or trying to get some type of stripes that I'm good on all of that. And basically what you hear in my music is just me. It's Jon Connor is verbalizing Jan Freeman's perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I'm putting into words the things that I see every day, or just the way that I feel. So what I do is just my perspective. That's it. And I got to give credit to my mother for that.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So So, you know, hearing that, man, when did you decide that, like, you know what, this rapping shit is pretty big right now? When did you decide to, like, this is something that I can do, and this is something I can possibly be good at? Like, when did the hip hop bug, you know, bite you? You know,
man, it's dope that you asking me this too, man. I got we doing a documentary called The Road to Legendary, where I got the footage of everything that I'm about to tell you. So for me, man, yeah, like the actual footage of me when I first started rapping, bro, I was kind of terrible, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it was I would say 96, 97. It was around the time No Limit started popping off. And I don't know for what, like, it's like, it's the craziest thing. My sister was the biggest hip hop fan growing up. All I heard in the house was Tupac, Biggie, Outkast, right, Boss, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown.
Time out. Isn't Boss from Michigan too?
From Detroit. That's dope that you know Boss, man, because sometimes when I say Boss, people they just ride.
I had the biggest crush on Boss, man.
Wasn't she bad though? On the low though.
She was like Aaliyah, man. She was like the rap version of Aaliyah. You know, like she was
pretty on the low, like, cause she always wore like the tomboy type stuff.
Yeah.
But you could tell she was bad though.
Yeah. She was
but aside from just the physical, and if Boss sees this, like, much respect, Queen. Like, even beyond the physical, like, just lyrically, she was so far ahead of her time. Like, so anybody watching this, if y'all never heard of Boss, go back and listen to Deeper. Go back and listen to Progress of Elimination. Go back to and listen to oh man,
she got some joints. She had a nice little run, man. She had like a little 2-3 year run.
That's a fact. She was dope. But for me, I grew up hearing those things in the crib, but none of that made me want to rap. Like, I knew that it was dope, but that didn't make me want to rap. What made me want to rap, for whatever reason, man, when I first heard No Limit Soldiers by Master P, like, it was on. It was like, it was cool because I think maybe I couldn't verbalize it like this when I was a child. But I think what it was you could see the hustle. You know what I'm saying? You could hear the grind. You could hear the determination. And what I always heard out of Master P's music was that he was just telling his story. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was just telling it as he saw it. And there was something that resonated with me with that it was like, okay, if this cat can do it, and he's from New Orleans, and people got to remember, see, now in 2020, New Orleans is a mainstay in hip hop because of Lil Wayne, because of the Hot Boys, because of No Limit, because of the lineage. But we grew up at a time where New Orleans didn't have, as far as the world go, we didn't know about New Orleans.
Not hip hop. We knew about Aaron Neville and the Neville brothers.
We knew about the jazz and Mighty
Jazz.
Right, but we didn't know. So I looked at that, and that influenced me too, because it was like, I'm from Flint, a city that at that point on a major scale hadn't really been represented like in a long time at the time that I started rapping. So I'm like, man, this dude just put his city on the map, and he telling his truth. And for me, it was like, maybe I could do the same thing for Flint.
Yeah, I feel like, man, you know, as far as like rappers from Flint, man, and there's no disrespect, but to me, it's MC Breed and it's Jon Connor, man, as far as like the greatest rappers that ever came out of Flint, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nah, that's facts, man. Like when I first heard of you, man, I believe it was like on the Salvation Project, man. With
with me and Reef. Shout out to Reef.
Yeah, Rob, Two-Flow, man. Yeah. And I was like, yo, your energy, man. I was like, yo, he's from Flint. I was like, yo, because I always knew about the dopeness that comes out of Flint. I'm a huge Andre Rison fan. That was like my favorite football player as a kid. I got his jersey upstairs. I knew about the connection between Too Short and MC Breed and all that. So I always knew it was some dope shit in Flint, but there was a gap as far as like, you know, like something that's just really coming out of Flint, man, as far as on the hip hop side, man, to me. And then you come around, man, and I'm late at this time. You know, I'm like 4 or 5 years late, because the Salvation, I believe, is like 2011.
Yeah,
but you've been around. You dropped some projects, mixtapes, whatever, back in like 05. I didn't know about that. I had to go back. So I hear you come out and you just rapping with this energy, man. Like, what was it, brother, coming out of Flint, man, at that time? What was the energy in Flint, man? You know, as far as like the support, man, because you was definitely stood out, man, when you came out, man.
Well, thank you. Wow, thank you. You know, I appreciate you saying that because, you know, all of us have perspective. So it's like, it's seldom that I get a chance to hear things like that, you know, because, you know what I'm saying? You be so caught up in what you got to do and trying to get to certain points.
Right.
You wonder sometimes how this is resonating with people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you never quite know, you know what I'm saying? Until you in a situation like this where somebody say it to you. So King, I really appreciate that for real, bro. But the energy was crazy, bro. It's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine about it the other day. I think in Flint, it's kind of like with any city, right? Like you got in California, right? You got your Kendrick Lamar's, right? And cats like that. And then on the other end, you got like your YGs who are more like street type rappers. You feel me? You got in Chicago, you got like the drill movement, and you got like, you know, your Chief Keefs and Lil Durks, you feel me? But right. Then you also have the Common and Kanye, like, so it's like Flint had that same type of thing where there was like the street hip hop scene, and then like I guess what they call like the backpacker lyrical hip hop scene or whatever. So it was like there was always that. So, but before I kind of came around, I think all Flint had was the street scene. I don't think that people felt comfortable, you know what I'm saying, like kind of just doing what they, you know what I'm saying, being themselves, I guess I should say. Yeah, and I was kind of I was a part of a time period where it was starting to be a swell where me and the cats that I was coming up with, that's what we were all on. You know, it was a movement bubbling that, you know, people just wanted to be themselves and didn't want to have to talk street shit. So it was like there was always this kind of like divide, you know what I'm saying, of the street dudes be like, he ain't representing the crib right because he ain't talking about dope dealing or whatever the case may be.
Right.
He had this other side of the crib that was like, we tired of that. We tired of all people know us for is dope dealing and poverty. We need somebody else to be our voice. So it was such a dope ride, man, to be at the beginning of that new era of Flint hip hop. Right.
No, that's dope, man. I remember, like I said, I heard the Salvation first, then I went back to the Calling, man.
Yeah,
you dropped some mixtapes leading up to that. But I want to start with this the Salvation, man, because I believe that's the one you did with Rob.
Right.
Rob Two Flow, man. How was it linking with him? Because I believe a couple of years early or a few years early, he produced you know, that What Up Gangsta for 50 Cent. So
50, yeah.
That was like one of the biggest songs on that project, man. So how did you link with him, and how was it, you know, leading up to dropping that particular project?
Man, I just remember going up to Shade 45, and I remember Reef just like he took a liking to me. Like we had just a natural chemistry of just we rock with each other as people. Okay. And I remember him being like, and shouts to my man Young Sav, because none of that would have ever happened without my man Sav. Young Sav is who took me to Shade 45, and that's how I met Rob Tulo. But it's like we connected as people first and foremost, and then he hit me and he was like, "Yo, let's do a project." I'm like, "Bet," and I'm so hungry, you know what I'm saying, that I'm like, just send me anything, like let's go. I'm ready to get it popping. I'm ready to make the game know my name. So that's kind of how it went down, man. We rocked with each other. He sent me joints. I would send him back and forth. He would tell me like whatever like critiques that he had about the project or whatever records I was doing at the time, and we got it done. Like we got it done quick too.
Yeah, man, that project right there, that was the one that, like I said, man, this guy's gonna be around for a while, man. I said this guy go like you had that the big city in Broken Mirrors, man. That was my shit.
Yeah, man, Broken Mirrors, man. Love to the people too. That was the first video I had that had like 1 million views, man, which was crazy. Like I didn't know people was gonna, you know, take to that record. And it's crazy, bro, because a lot of times when I talk to people, they bring up Broken Mirrors. So I'm glad that a joint that means what it means and stands for what it stands for is what people connected with from me.
Nah, that was when that song came out, man. Like everybody down here, man, like all my dudes, man, like who was really, cause we all pretty much like the same type of hip hop, man. Yo, we love that particular song and that particular album, man. And you know, I noticed you know, you was just, it seemed like you was just everywhere, man. As far as like, you know, you started doing mixtapes with K Slay, and like, how did you link up with him, man? Like, what was that? You know, linking up, because it seemed like you was on a run of like damn near every K Slay mixtape, even you know the one that just dropped this year. You on 2 joints on that.
Facts, man, facts, and I'm on the next one too. I don't know if you heard did you hear the Rolling 50 Deep joint?
Yeah, you on that. Exactly. I was gonna save that. I was gonna say that to later, man.
But it's all good. My bad. I don't want to my fault. But yeah, man, Slay, that's my brother. That's my dog. Yeah. That's the OG, the big homie, all that. Whatever name you could put on it, man. That show love, man. Is that's who he is to me. That's my dog, man. Again, man. Shouts to my man Young Sav. It was when I was going back and forth from Flint to New York, going up to Shade 45 and going up to XM Radio and just moving around. And again, like when I met Slay, he respected the lyricism. He respected, like, you know, what I was doing as an MC. And then it was just like every time he had something, he would send it to me. And one thing I want to point out about Slay too is we need more people like K Slay in the game, because a lot of time the industry could be so cliquey and trendy, jumping on the trends and shit, and only fucking with people that labels are pushing down people's throat. K Slay fuck with you whether you hot or whether you cold. It don't matter whether you sign, unsigned. If he know about you and you dope, like K Slay is gonna support you. He's gonna use his platform to get other people to know about you and to recognize your dopeness. So I just want to take that time to really like give K Slay his roses.
You mentioned K Slay as far as being very influential, as far as, you know, bringing out artists that, you know, such as yourself, that's dope, but often get overlooked because, you know, they don't have the controversy. They don't have the hype, man. So could you touch on that a little bit, man? You know, you was talking about that.
Yeah, I don't know what part it cut off on, but what I was saying was I just wanted to give K Slay his roses, because for Slay, he don't play the politic game. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times in the industry, it can become real cliquey and real trendy, and I'm just gonna rock with this person because they popping right now, or they hot right now, or they got a little single that's buzzing or whatever. But with Slay, it don't matter. From the hottest person to the coldest person, if he rock with you and feel like you talented, he's gonna use his platform so that you can shine, so that you can show your gift to the world. And so I just wanted to give K Slay that shout out, because man, that is what he do, and that's my dog. Like at every point in my career, Slay always rocked with me. Like before I got signed to Aftermath, during my time at Aftermath, then when I left Aftermath and started my own like company and started rebuilding everything, it was like Slay was always there. And in this industry where people is super duper fake 90% of the time, it's like, yo, that's something that is priceless and just irreplaceable, man. Like for real.
Nah. Slay's dope, man. One thing I like about him, man, is just, you know, again, just like you said, man, to make a long story short, man, he sees dopeness, man. And you are his type of artist, man. If you look at the artists that he associate himself with, you know, he's biased to dopeness.
Yeah, no, he is, man.
He's biased, young. If you're not dope, he don't fuck with you. Like
that's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I mean? That is a fact, man.
That's
Love to my brother K Slay. He just hit me yesterday, man. So he got a surprise coming. That's gonna be kind of crazy. I can't really say too much about it, but he hit me for it, and yeah, it's gonna be kind of serious. And when we're gonna do another interview, and then we're gonna talk about it.
Oh, that's a bet. I'm looking forward to that, man. So look, 2012, man, you busy, man. You dropped the best in the world, man. I think this was the first of the best of the world mixtapes, man. And this one was hosted by DJ Jon Connor, the People's Rapper. Now, how did you get that? Who tagged you with that name, the People's Rapper, man? Because I totally understand it. But what made you name that project, man, the People's Rapper, man?
Because I had been calling myself the People's Rapper for a little minute, because I really felt that way. Because in my music, I'm not trying to. There's no bias. I'm just speaking the truth as I see it. So I felt like, I'm gonna be the voice of the people. I'm gonna say the things that the people, the shit that they don't even know they need to hear. I'm gonna say it. Like, you know what I mean? So I had been the People's Rapper for a minute, But the best in the world joint that you talking about was when I did all the Eminem beats. And so that one was called the Marshall Mathers LP. And that's where the cover had came from for that particular mixtape. Okay. And so I didn't want to call it the Jon Freeman EP or nothing like that. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I just call it the People's Rapper LP, kind of play off of how he did the Marshall Mathers LP and kind of salute and pay homage to Eminem, you know what I'm saying? A Detroit, a Michigan legend, an industry legend, right. A hip hop legend, you know what I'm saying? So it was like my way of saluting to Eminem.
Now, this I always wanted to ask somebody from Detroit or somebody from Flint. Do you guys share the same culture of Detroit? Like, how far are you from Detroit? Or do you guys kind of share the same culture a little bit?
Yo, what's so crazy is Flint and Detroit is like two different planets. Like, for real. Like, for real.
You're like DC and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, people, it looked close on the map, but.
Yeah, so see, I feel you. I respect that because that's what it is. Like with Flint and Detroit, it's all love, and I mean that in the most respectful way. But it's like it is two totally different worlds. It's two totally different. So, you know, there's a Michigan camaraderie, but as far as the actual cultures of Flint and Detroit, two totally different worlds, man.
Do y'all say pop?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we don't call it soda, we call it pop. Yeah.
Okay. I know in Detroit they call soda pop.
yeah, we call it pop. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a Michigan thing. Yeah.
I guess that's a Michigan thing, man. So look, you did the While You Was Sleeping project, man. Now, matter of fact, before I go to that, so when you dropped that project, that project that was dedicated to Eminem, did that ever get back to him? Like, what was his reception to that? Did it ever get back to him? Like, as far, because you spazzed on that, especially on that 8 Mile Road, and you know you got busy on that joint right there. Did it ever get back to him? And did that lead up to, you know, the whole Dr. Dre, and which I'm gonna touch on a little bit later?
I don't know if he ever heard it. Which me and him, we met before, and the time and how we met, it probably wasn't appropriate to bring that up or nothing like that. But I know that
Hold on, time out. What you mean?
Well, no, we was at like
what you mean by that?
Well, we was like in a party atmosphere. So you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't just want to hit him with, "Hey man, did you hear this mixtape I did?" You know what I'm saying? It was like it was a you know what I'm saying? It was more so a chill vibe. Everybody was just chilling. So, but I don't know if he ever heard it, but I definitely know my bro, Mr. Porter from D12. Shouts to, man, and while we talking about Detroit, yeah, shouts to Mr. Porter, Conniva, Bazaar. Shouts to my brother, Royce the 5'9", Kid Vicious, Alien Gang. So it's always been love. But I don't know if he ever heard the People's Rapper LP. I've been thinking about doing a People's Rapper LP too. But and you know, that shit might be cool because people really anytime I go anywhere, people gravitated to that one the most because I did 4 of them so far. Yeah. I did Kanye, I did Jay, I did Biggie, and I did Eminem. So it was so that one, the Eminem one is the one that people talk about the most. So I think we're gonna run that back. But I don't know if he ever heard it or not. But I know that Mr. Porter did and he rocked with it.
Yeah, that was my shit right there, man. So I'm gonna fast forward, man. I know you dropped another project, a mixtape right after that, but then you dropped, and I want to ask you this too when I'm done. When I'm done saying what I'm about to say, but you dropped, man, Unconscious State in 2013, man.
Yes, sir.
Like you did. I know you had a project before that. You know, I think that the next one, I think that was the one before that had DJ. You worked with DJ Green Lantern.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one, I feel like the Blue album was with Green Lantern. Then, because that came out right after season 2. Then after that, Don Cannon did the People's Rapper LP. Then after that was While You Was Sleeping.
Then
after While You Was Sleeping was Unconscious State.
No, that's it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, man, I'm getting old. These grays in my beard. Man.
I got them too, man. I'm older than you, man.
It's love, man. Yeah, but I think that's how it went. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good, man. But like I said, man, that while you was sleeping, that was my shit right there. I didn't think you was gonna be able to top that, man. And then you come with Unconscious State. That was my album of 2013. That was my favorite project of 2013, man.
Thank you.
I love that project, bro. Like, tell me about the like putting that together, man. What was the vision, man? What was the inspiration? Because when I remember reading in like XXL or Hip Hop News or different blogs, they said Jon Connor new album coming out, and I'm like, yo, this is dope, man. Like, yo, he just dropped while you were sleeping. Now he's coming out with like this, and then I'm looking at the features, and then when you dropped it, brother, the rest is history, man. Talk about that project, brother.
Man, thank you so much. Again, like I say, humbled, man. Thank you. Man, that's so crazy, man. At the time period that I was making Unconscious State, it was crazy. You know how they say artists, it reminded me, you seen 5 Heartbeats before?
Of course.
Right? So remember when Duck was at the podium, he said, a writer said, Donald Matthews is going to be a great writer one day when he suffers more. That was that album, Unconscious State. At the time, my old crew was breaking up. Everybody was going in their separate directions. Life was kind of happening. You know what I mean? It was it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy that all of these things was going on around me at that particular point in time. It was like I started being down on myself. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do I need to do to get to whatever that next level is? You know what I'm saying? And like I say, the crew has started getting older. Like some of the homies was having kids, and where it's like, I need this rap thing to pay off. I got kids now, you know what I'm saying? And it was like just so much was happening. And I just remember being in a space where I felt like my back was against the wall, and it was kind of like I had to prove to myself that I wasn't gonna fold no matter what. So that was like the mindset during that. It was a rough time for me making Unconscious State. It really was. But I'm glad that project has stood the test of time, and that people still like it's joints on it. And think about this, bro. I never got a chance to shoot no videos for Unconscious State.
I know, and that was the thing, because I'm like, yo, you had the effing right with Freddie Gibbs. You had the Rise Up with Talib Kweli, man. It was, and one of my favorite joints on
What's up?
You know one of my favorite, the porn song, man.
Bro, that's what it.
Hey, man.
Hey,
dude, I'm sorry, man.
Oh my God.
Every dude watch porn, man. Like, come on.
Fact.
Like,
that's a fact. But see, that's where the people's rapper come in at. That is like, bro, I ain't embarrassed about it. We can see how we sharing this moment right now, bro. We gotta be able to laugh about
shit. You named all my favorites.
Hey, come on. I know about it, man. Come on. That's love, man.
And my fiance, she gonna watch this, man, baby. You know, we good now. But I'm saying it's 2013, 7 years ago.
Back in the day. Give him a pass.
I was a different person back then, man. I still enjoy that song, man. But you overall, man, you put your, on a serious note, man, it seemed like you put it all together on that particular project, man. Like when you were done with that, how did you feel? Like as far as the work that you put into it, man. Were you pleased with that project?
To keep it all the way real, man, when I was done with Unconscious State, and that's why I said, man, thank you for saying these things, because for me, bro, the perspective that I have on these things is so different than what people be telling me, because how I felt was I was confused, I was depressed, it was like a situation where I had become so consistent that no matter what was happening in my personal life, I had to keep putting out music, even if I didn't feel like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because now it was other people depending on me. I had management at that time that's like, yo, you got to put something out. We got to keep this thing going. So it was like when it was done, I was kind of numb, bro. It was like I didn't know what was gonna happen next. Because think about it, the people that I'm talking about when I say my old crew was breaking up, these is like childhood friends. Right. Like it was certain when that run, when I first came out, that run that you talking about is certain names that you saw on every Jon Connor CD. You feel me? That
Mickey, I will always see
Mickey Wallace, Brandon Bars, Leah Mack, Cass Swift, you know what I'm saying? D Wayne, Real Slacker. Like these was all the people that there would be no Jon Connor if it wasn't for those people. But at the time, it was we all growing up and separating, and everybody's like going their separate ways. So I didn't really get a chance to, and it's crazy because Unconscious State was my first project that charted on Billboard, and I enjoyed that, and that was cool. But it was kind of like I didn't really get a chance to live in that moment because I was still kind of depressed about the real life shit that was going on around me. Like when I finished it, so when I finished it, I didn't know how people was gonna receive it, because I didn't feel like I was in my best creative space when I was doing it, because I was thinking about so much other shit. So I'm like, damn, is people gonna like this? Like, are people gonna be able to hear that I'm not fully me right now? So the fact that, like I say, people still talk about porn song 2 week notice. People still talk about what was Judge and Jury. I don't
Michigan know shit. That's my joint too with you and Royce.
Michigan shit with me and Royce. So right now I could look back on it and be like, for where I was at mentally.
That's a classic. That's a classic, brother.
Thank you, man.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I couldn't hold that in. I couldn't hold it in anymore, bro. Like I'm listening to you talk. I'm listening to you talk, brother, and it's like a part of me, man. Like does he not know that album got me through so many? Like I was going through. That was a crazy point in my life too, around that time, man. And through those songs, man, you touched on everything, man. You touched on the highs of life, the joys of life. You know, just all different aspects of life, man, and you did it your way, man. So I always wanted to know, like, man, I wanted to Jon Connor know that this is a classic, man.
Wow. No, thank you from your mouth to my ears, man. Thank you. And if it ain't nothing but a classic to you, that means so much more. That means so much to me, dog. Like for real, if you the only motherfucker to ever call it a classic, that means so much to me. Like for real, because like I said, especially what I was going through creating that project, to know that it resonated with you, bro. Like that's more than any diamond, platinum, anything in the bank, because that's what you make music for. It's like dominoes, bro. We all in this life thing together. We all gonna have good days, bad days. So our journey is to inspire the next person and keep the next person going when it get hard. So whatever your gift is you're supposed to use that to somehow, you know, resonate to keep somebody going. So the fact that project did that for you, bro, like that's worth more than any check I could ever get from music, bro. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man. That one right there, brother. And then one more thing, man. I could talk about that album for all day, but that project, unlike a lot of projects, man, of that era, of that time, because you know how music changes so much.
Absolutely.
From like every 2-3 years, but that particular project, that's like sonically, it sounds fresh. When you listen to it in 2020 going into 2021, it doesn't sound like 2013, because there's certain projects from 2013 they sound like 2013, and that one still sounds fresh, man. So salute to you,
man. Salute back. Thank you, man.
Salute to you and your team for that on that one right there. So look, 2013, man, it was a crazy year, man. It was a crazy year in hip hop. It was a crazy year for you, man, because around the same time, man, I believe you signed with Dr. Dre in Aftermath. So tell me about that, man. How was it linking with the legend Dr. Dre, man, the larger than life, man? One of the biggest producers, arguably the greatest mainstream hip hop producer ever, man. How did you guys link, man, and start whatever relationship that you had, man?
The crazy part about that is, man, I had announced that I was on Aftermath at the BET Awards that year, right? But I really wasn't even signed yet. Like that didn't even happen I didn't actually sign until 2014. And the way that it happened was just going so hard, right? And I remember Exhibit hit me in my inbox on Twitter at the time.
Right.
And I remember him saying to me, like, he was like, his son liked my music. and he was like, yo, you want to go on tour? So to make a long story short, I ended up going on a run in Canada with Exhibit. He had an album out at the time called Collateral Damage. Yeah, so it was the Collateral Damage tour, right? So we on tour, and he would always say like, yo, I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna help you out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. But I was taking it with a grain of salt because at that time, bro, I had been told so much stuff by so many people that I was kind of jaded. And so when people told me that, I let it go in one ear and out the other ear, right? I'm like, I'm just keep grinding. So anyway, long story short, he says that to me. And one day he called me. This is not too long after Unconscious State that came out. He like, yo, I got an idea. I'm gonna let Dr. Dre hear your music. So he and all of this, and just letting y'all know, all of this is in the docu-series Road to Legendary. Exhibit is on there talking about this and all that. So y'all get to hear all of this from the horse's mouth, right?
Okay, so, no doubt. This is exclusive right here. Bridging the Generation podcast exclusive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know, Exhibit ends up playing the music for Dre. It's that old fairy tale situation where Dre like, yo, I need him to come out here tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on a plane to California. Next thing I know, we at Katana. Shouts to Katana on Sunset Boulevard that got some of the illest food ever. You know what I'm saying? We there. I'm sitting with Dre. We talking. We hit it off as individuals first and foremost. It was like I said about Reef. It got to all start with a natural human chemistry. You know what I'm saying? It has to start with that because you could be the greatest artist in the world or greatest musician in the world, but if you're an asshole, ain't nobody gonna want to be around you or work with you. So, you know, it was me and him sitting there talking and him filling me out as a person and all of that. And once he got the vibe from me, like, okay, cool. He like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to come listen to some beats? So we go to his crib. He's playing beats and he looking at me like, just rap. And then I'm rapping and rapping and rapping and rapping. And man, the rest was just history. Like I said, I don't want to tell too much on here because the whole story is in the docu-series. But that's how it happened, man. Exhibit took me on tour, stayed true to his word, put the music in the hands of Dr. Dre, got the business handled, and then it was on after that.
I remember like a couple years later, man, maybe a year and a half or 2 years later, you know, I heard you was on the Compton project, man. Like, yes, how was it, man? Because, man, like, you got a little silent, man. Like I wanted, like I was like, and like you were saying, man, the pressure, man. I guess you said you were so consistent. You were just dropping boom, 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 and then you drop. And matter of fact, let me take that back. You wasn't silent because in 2014 you did Late Registration.
Absolutely,
and you did the dedication to Biggie. You did. Yeah. Matter of fact, what made you decide to do those two projects, man? Why did you decide to do those type of projects instead of like putting like another album? You know, coming after Unconscious State?
Man, because it was I'm an indie artist to the core. I have to be able to create my own rules, you know, and do things the way I want to do things. And going into the major label system, it was such a culture shock for me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't used to having to ask, could I do something or ask for this? And I wasn't used to that. So what's crazy is, you know, and thank you for giving me a platform to talk about it, but a lot of people don't understand that. I don't know what they thought, that when I got to a major label, I got lazy or there's a system when you get to major labels and you're under a contract. So it's shit that you can't do. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, or you in breach of contract, or you got to sit in a room full of people and try to justify why you want to put this out or do that. It becomes such a headache to just do what you love to do. And that, you know, so when it comes, so back to your question of why were certain things happening a certain way, it was because, you know, me and at the time, Mateen Cleaves and Young Sav, all of those things that you loved from 2011 and 12, 13, all those projects, it was just me, Sav, and Mo going with our instincts and doing what we knew to do. When it got to 2014 and I got on a major, it wasn't just the three of us making the decisions no more. Now it had became such a bigger thing.
Business.
And now,
a business.
It's right. You got different people you got to answer to now, and you can't just move how you want to move. So it was even, you know, with putting the Kanye tape out and the Biggie tape, you know, I decided to do those because I'm gonna always do best in the world tapes. That's something I love to do. I love to keep my pen sharp by doing mixtapes. So the reason why it was Biggie and Kanye is because I'm a huge Kanye fan and I'm a huge Biggie fan. And I felt like the people needed that at the time. And I felt like it was a way to show the people that have been riding with me, like, I ain't changed. I'm still me. I'm still gonna give y'all best in the world tapes. I'm still gonna, no matter what I do, whatever situation I'm in, I'm still gonna stay true to my core.
Now I'm glad you put it out, man, because you know, coming off the Unconscious State project, man, and hearing you rap over, you know, always, like, one thing about you, man, you have your own, you have a very, you do notice, like, you have a very, in an era where everyone sounds the same and everybody copies each other's delivery, and you have a very distinct sound from your voice, from your flow. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very distinctive. No one sounds like Jon Connor. And I'm saying this to say this, like, I always looked at you as like one of them special artists, man, that I just feel like for some reason, man, I think you're just too real for the industry, man. Like, did you ever feel like
I think that's
like, maybe I should just start some controversy or something, man, because like this, like, it seemed like, I'm out rapping all these dudes, but these guys are doing this and this, but you can round up a room full of these cats and they can't touch Jon Connor. And they'll tell you that.
But, man, thank you.
I hate to talk like that because I don't want you to ever feel like you don't get your flowers, because I'm pretty sure when people meet you in public, they say, yo, Jon Connor, you dope as shit. But, like, dude, you are really like on some alien shit, brother, when it comes to this music, brother.
Thank you, man. So that's like I said, man, you saying it right now, that's all the payment I need. Thank you, man. And you know, like you asked, did I ever think about causing some controversy? And that ain't me. That ain't in my nature, man. It's like whatever. I'm a very spiritual person, so I feel like whatever the Most High got for me is gonna be for me. Whatever's supposed to, long as I stay on the path and long as I stay true to myself and I don't screw nobody over and I just keep telling my truth, then whatever's for me is gonna happen, and that's what it's gonna be. So, you know, that's how I look at it, man. So whatever blessings everybody else getting, that's what's meant for them. Whatever the Most High see that's for me is gonna happen for me. And I'm never gonna and I'm sorry, I don't mean to preach to y'all.
No, keep going now, brother. This is I hear it in the music. Like, this is what you do in your music, bro.
Yeah, man. It's be not conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. You know what I'm saying? So what I always took that as, don't conform to what everybody else doing because that's what seems to be selling or whatever. Be transformed. You know what I'm saying? Find a more creative way to get your message across. You know what I'm saying? Become smarter, become wiser, become more crafty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't take the easy way out and start rapping like other people are doing the shit that they doing. Find a different presentation for how you present your gift that might connect with people in a certain way to where you ain't got to sell out, where you can just keep being yourself, but find a way to make what you do resonate with people that doesn't include biting other people's shit or selling yourself out to do it.
Yeah, man, that's one thing. But you do know, man, like who you are as a person. Like you was already given the gift, man, as far as being distinctive, like the voice and the delivery, man. Like, I don't know how long it took for you to build to the delivery. I don't know how you was rapping at 17 or 21 or whatever, but some artists, man, they just don't have that, man. And that was the thing that always pained me about you, because you had it, you have it all.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You have it all. So I look at it like basketball. The guys, LeBron is #1 in the league because he's the best player. So the best should be at the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I hear you rap, man, it's like I'm never let down. You never let me down, man. So when I got the opportunity, man, to hear you on that Compton project, man, how was it like getting that call, man? Because that one right there, even though that's not Dr. Dre's biggest project, but it did pretty good. It put his name back out there as far as being respectable, and a lot of people like that project, man. So how was it getting that call and doing a track on being featured on that working on that project with Dr. Dre?
working on Compton was dope. It was like college, man. It was one of the craziest, dopest experiences of my life. I got my first gold plaque because of being on Compton. Like that's something, you know what I'm saying, that nobody could ever take away from me. I say that on the documentary that it's like it's only 3 solo Dr. Dre albums right now to date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm on one of them. And that's not like it's artists that I respect that ain't never worked with Dre a day in their life, let alone been on his album, let alone I'm blessed and humbled that I got a solo song on there featuring Snoop Dogg on a Dr. Dre project. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on. I gotta say, let me add this. There's artists that have been on Aftermath that have never been on a Dr. Dre project.
That's a fact. So it's like that's for me, it's like, you know, far as accolades and accomplishments within the realm of hip hop, that's something that, you know, you put on your checklist of like, damn, that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? But far as the actual experience and how it affected me, man, I learned so much working on that project. Shouts to everybody that worked on it, man. King Mez, Justice, Marsha Ambrosia, Kendrick, Eminem, who else? Exhibit, Code 187, Focus, Them Joints, just all the dope people that I met, like because of the relationship with Dr. Dre. It was a crazy experience, and that's something that I hold near and dear to me for the rest of my life. I learned so much as just a songwriter, an artist, and a producer from sitting up under Dre and watching him construct that album and watching how, you know, real albums are supposed to be put together. You know, that experience was priceless, and that's something that I hold near and dear for real.
Now, this is one of the things that a lot of people, you know, who don't know Dr. Dre or don't know his work ethic, you know, like I know this is one of those questions like people want to know, man, like how is it working with Dr. Dre? What is so special about him when you see him in the booth and he's crafting these songs? Like what stands out, man, when you watching him compared to watching everybody else, man? What makes him so special, so unique?
Off the top of my head, I would say he knows musically, he know you better than you know yourself.
Explain that.
So going into the explanation, it would be you'll write your rap and you'll spit it, and then he'll tell you ways to spit it to make it doper than when you wrote it. And then you'll hear yourself come out the speakers and you'll be like, oh shit. Like, I was like, how did you know I was supposed to say this like that? And he'll just give you like a look like, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's like, that's one of the dope things about him. Like I say, musically, he know you better than you know yourself. He can spit your rap back to you better than you wrote it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. And like, that's insane. Another dope thing about working with Dre is, you know, you could feel his love for the music. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're working with him, you're gonna feel his love for the music. He don't make excuses. He don't get tired. You know what I'm saying? You might be in the studio until the sun come up, but at the end of the day, he is too. It ain't like he gonna just send you in there and you keep working and he not. Like, nah, he gonna be up right with you in the trenches going hard. And this is a person who done sold umpteen millions of records, you know what I'm saying, that don't have to work that hard, but you watch him work just as hard as the hungriest dude in the room. So I would say those are the things, is that, you know, musically his ear is ridiculous. Like I say, you might come in and write the rap, but he's gonna critique it and he gonna put that Dre gloss on it and he gonna make you sound better than you did when you got there.
Yeah, he's you know, when they talk about having a Dr. Dre versus Diddy versus, man, have you heard about that?
I heard the rumblings. That'll be crazy.
But you know what? The only thing about that I've always felt like Dre's more hands-on. Like he's a producer. Like Dre, he don't need, like he works with, like later on he started working with guys like Mike Elizondo and, you know, he worked with M and different guys. But a large part of his career, man, he was just producing stuff by himself. He don't need no one to help him. Right. Diddy needed the hitman. He needed D. Angeletti, and Diddy is special. Let's make that clear. He has his ear for production is amazing. But I always said, like, I don't know if that would be kind of fair to have him go.
here's the thing.
I don't think that's fair for Dr. Dre. Because I'm like Dr. Dre is an entity within himself. You know.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on that?
My take is that would be a dope moment for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That would be crazy because I'd be sitting there watching like, yo, this is crazy. But also, because I've been in the studio with Dre before, I've never been in the studio. I've never had the pleasure of being in the studio with Puff before, so I don't know how Puff works. So I can't make that judgment call. You know what I'm saying? Because there might be something equally as special about what Puff does in the studio. You feel me? It's just
he's special.
Yeah,
he gave us Jodeci, he gave us Mary J. Blige, he gave us Biggie. So
I think that. But as far as just the two names, Dr. Dre and Puff, I think that would be crazy.
That would be dope.
Crazy, and I think that would be dope too. Just for all of us that grew up and watched the East Coast, West Coast thing happen, I think that for in a loving environment where you got two legends paying homage and respecting each other, it's just dope that all these years later, you could see one of the guys of the West Coast and one of the guys of the East Coast come together and do that to remind us how far we've come as just a hip hop culture.
Yeah. I'm so glad that is behind us, man. Like, you know, it's crazy to even think that there was a time where East Coast and West Coast was beefing, man. So I'm so glad that that's behind us, man. So look, I want to go back a little bit before that, man. I forgot to mention this, man, but in 2014, you was on an XXL Freshman cover.
Yeah.
So, you know, around that time, you also was on the BET Cypher. You spazzed on that. You got your shit off on that. You know what I'm saying? So how was that, man, getting that call for the XXL, freshman cover, which to me, that was the last great XXL freshman cover, man. I'm gonna be honest.
It was
with everybody on it was dope. Like
dope, right?
Everybody.
Like it was what me, Rich Homie, Chance, Jaron Benton, Kevin Gates.
Yeah.
On that August Alsina.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying. Troy Ave. I'm trying to remember everybody that was on there.
It was a lot of dudes on. It was a lot of great artists on there, man.
I remember it was mad Chicago people on there too.
Yeah, Chance was on there. I think Vic Mensa, if I'm not mistaken.
Vic Mensa, Lil Durk, Lil Bibby. Yeah. But how it was, man, it was crazy. That was one of those things too. I don't really get caught up in accolades and accomplishments, but being a fan of hip hop and being a fan of XXL as a publication, it was dope because the truth be told, that's why the Best in the World tapes happened, because I was so mad that I felt like hip hop wasn't acknowledging me or acknowledging my existence and what I was trying to contribute to the culture. It was like, yo, I'm just about to keep putting music out until they ain't got no choice but to respect what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it was dope that was one of my goals. Like, all right, I'm gonna just keep on putting out music until they ain't got no choice. And that's what ultimately ended up happening. And it was a cool last time, man. Shouts to XXL because that was a dope ass experience too. Like being on the cover, the party that they throw you when you on the cover, and at the time 106 and Park was still on the air. So it was just a real cool experience, man, being on that cover. It was real dope.
So you mentioned, like, right before while you was talking about that, you mentioned how you don't really trip off accolades, man. Where does that come from, man? How do you stay grounded? How do you stay so humble, man, when you one of the best rappers in the world, one of the best lyricists in the world? Where do you go to stay so grounded, man? How did that, where do you get that from?
Like I said, the Most High, man. Like we are humans and we all got different gifts, right? Yeah. And I feel like everybody's gift play into the next person. So no person's gift is no greater or lesser value than the next person. It's like, okay, your perspective is you respect me for being great with music and great with lyricism and those type of things, but then that doesn't make me any better or worse than somebody who's a doctor and like they just saved somebody's life, like in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So how could I walk around with my nose in the air when there's somebody out here who gift is saving lives, literally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then does that make that person any more or less than, let's take like LeBron James. Now, when he on the court, he's out there doing what he do, but he's inspiring people. He's inspiring thousands of people. There's a little kid right now that believe in their dream because they saw LeBron James do something physically amazing. So does that make LeBron gift more or less? No, it just means we all got gifts. And when you tap into it, you realize, okay, my gift ain't no greater or no worse than anybody else's. So I shouldn't walk around, you know, with my nose in the air, acting like I'm better than, or whatever the case. And I'll say this just to sum it up too. My big bro, Terry Crews, once told me this. He said, if you're going to believe people when they say something good about you, then that means you got to believe them when they say something bad about you too. So I was like, wow, that's real. He said, so none of that don't matter. All that matters is the reason why you do it from your heart. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And so whenever somebody acknowledges or says that you've done a good job according to the reason why you say you do this, then that's the payment. So it's like a Grammy can't validate me. You just did. Because that's the reason why I make music, is to touch people, to help people, to help people get through their day, to make people inspired and get them motivated. So when somebody tell me that, that's my Grammy. A little metal thing is not about to tell me who I am or what I am, because I don't do it for no piece of metal. I don't do it for the plaques. I don't do it for the bread. I don't do it for none of that. I do what I do because there's somebody out there that don't feel like anybody understands what they're going through. So when somebody be like, yo, I felt you. That's my Grammy. That's my check. That's my moment. That's my BET Awards. That's my cover of a magazine, because that's the reason why I do it.
Nah, that's, hey man, that's brother, that's real touching, man, because hearing you talk like that, I know that there's hope, man, for hip hop, man. When everybody, you know, everybody's so down on hip hop, and it's real divided right now with the younger generation, older generation, and just so many different negative things that's within the culture, kind of outshining the positive things in the culture, man. And there's so many beautiful things in the culture. And when I hear you talk like that, man, I know that we gonna be all right, man.
Man,
you know?
Thank you. But I also want to take the time to thank you, because we live in an age where now everybody can have a voice, and you got this platform and you sharing it with an artist like me. It's like, you know, just keeping it real, a lot of times like labels don't be feeling like it's no bread or no money or nothing to gain in artists like myself that's trying to tell people to wisen up, smarten up, you know, treat people better, or whatever it is. You know, the bread gonna come from, you know, shake your ass, sell dope, you know what I'm saying? So it's like with an independent artist like myself, you giving me a platform and to bringing me to your audience and allowing me this time to talk and share my story means more than you'll ever know. And I'm thanking you, and I really appreciate that, man.
Nah, no doubt, bro. I'm at a loss of words, man, because like I said, man, brother, when I think of elite MCs, man, you ask anybody around me, man, they say, man, you always talk about some Jon Connor, man. Oh, you talking about Jon Connor, Jon Connor. I be like, no, but look. Okay. I'm keep talking about Jon Connor, but y'all not bringing me nobody that's better. Like you, okay, bringing me guys that's just, this guy's just as good, but we talk about better. Like, come on, man. So I just had to get that out there, man. Like I've been a fan for a long time, brother. This ain't just thought a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. We going 12 plus years, man. So
thank you. And let's keep getting them. Let's keep getting them. We gonna keep getting them, man.
Yeah, man. We go. As long as you got air in your lungs, man. I hope that you continue, man, to continue to inspire the culture, man, and give us this you know, this motivation, man, to just go out here and be ourselves, man. Because when we look at you and when we listen to you, that's what we get, man. Like you, one of the reasons why I decided to step out on my own and be who I am, man. I could have went down this avenue to, you know, the popular route, man, and interview the guys that's doing all the nonsense. But I was like, man, you know what? It's joy. And I think this is kind of like summing up kind of what you're saying as well. There's joy in being who you are and being and utilizing what you do best and bringing great and getting greatness out of that by being yourself. So
absolutely,
you know,
just said it.
That's dope, man. So look, I want to touch on something, man. You know, you was talking about just being, you know, as far as like being a good person and all of that, man. I remember, you know, when the whole Flint water crisis happened, man, back in what was we talking 2017?
Which is still going on.
Yeah, and I remember seeing you out there on the front lines, man. I remember I was on Twitter, and you know, I see you out there with the trucks and everything, man. Can you tell me, you know, how has that affected the city, and how has that galvanized the people, man? And you know, how has that affected you as well?
Well, man, like a lot of things, and thank you for asking about that, because a lot of people think that it's over. It's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the water is still not safe to bathe in or drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, and I'm in the trenches right now. I'm in Flint right now. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is you got to get real creative. I've become an expert at knowing how to, whenever I'm in Flint, I know how to take a shower using bottles of water, which is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's the reality.
Hold up. Time out. You telling me you guys you can't use the water to bathe?
No, or you'll start breaking out. Like, I remember when I would come back and forth to visit, right? Because, you know, my mom's like, oh, it ain't that bad, whatever the case may be. Man, I'd take a shower and I'm breaking the fuck out. I'm like, yo. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm sorry. Can I cuss on here?
No, yeah, come on. Yeah, hell okay.
Yeah, so I'm like tripping because that's a real thing. And the first time I broke out, I'm like, never again. I'm like, Mom, whenever I come here, I'll just do the bottled water thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, you know, but that's the reality of it. And it's kids that's ending up like with learning deficiencies and autism because they were taken and they were bathed in the water before people knew that the water was bad. So now it's kids that ain't quite, you know what I'm saying, all the way right, you know what I'm saying, how they supposed to be, and they having learning disorders and can't read properly and can't, you know, it's really bad. And it makes me sad that you know, people have they for the moment causes, you know what I'm saying? And then you throw COVID. So think about that. You throw COVID on top of that. We're in a situation where we got a pandemic where you're supposed to say super clean. But how is that possible in Flint if the water is poison too? So now there's something that's killing people that you need to stay clean to beat. But then the thing that keeps you clean, which is the water, we're going to die from that too. So it's like, that's crazy. You know, so I ask that any and all people, you know, understand that, you know, we all going through all of this together, but it's like double time for Flint because they like keep washing your hands. Well, if I keep washing my hands in Flint, I'm gonna end up breaking out and having rashes and shit. So, you know what I mean? So it's just an ill situation, man. But keep my city in your prayers. Like I say, I'm in Flint actually right now as I'm doing this interview with you. So pray for the crib, man, for real.
How I want to know, like, how exactly did that start though? Like, why is it only affecting Flint? Like, how come, or is it just the Flint area that, you know, does it get down to Detroit? Like, how come, like, I don't hear about, it seemed like it only affecting Flint. And, you know, we're talking about what, 4 years later. I don't understand, why is this still going? What are they doing to eliminate this problem, man?
Well, the way that it started, from my knowledge, because when this all started, I was living in California. So and that's so crazy, man, that thing happened in 2014. So like right when I left to go do the aftermath thing is when all of this started happening. And the way that it happened was the government officials in Flint wanted to switch our water supply because we was getting our water from Detroit, right?
Okay.
So to save money, they switched our water supply and started getting it from the Flint River. Now, the thing that's funny about this, bro, which is not funny, I should use a different word. The irony of this is that, bro, growing up in Flint, we always knew the Flint River was trifling. Nobody goes and swims in the Flint River, bro. Like, this is like a thing in Flint. We, as kids, we would grow up joking like, man, you smell like the Flint River. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's some shit that we just know in Flint, that the Flint River is like brown and muddy and trifling. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That motherfucker got fish with like 3 eyes in it and shit.
Like right, like on The Simpsons. It's real.
Every city, every urban city, man, has a real, like, we got the Anacostia River, man. Like, everybody knows, don't go fishing in the Anacostia River.
Yeah.
You ever come to DC, don't swim in the Anacostia River. Don't go fishing in the Anacostia River. There's everything from bodies to 3-eyed fish and
Bro,
but go ahead, man.
You could have that same description and perfectly describe the Flint River, bro. And that's really what it was. So I never understood from the jump, like, why are y'all switching to the Flint River? Like, and it was to save money. And so not only that, now when you switch in our water supply from us getting the water from the trifling ass Flint River, the pipes that it was going through hadn't been used in years. So then it was all kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like just hazardous like materials in the pipes that was also going to the water. So that's why when people talk about, you know, the water situation and when Flint people describe it, the water was coming out brown and smelling weird and all that type of stuff. So it started with, as always, as most things that don't make sense start off over money, you know what I'm saying, and trying to save money and all of that. And that's what ended up happening. And then we ended up finding out that this was, you know, a very serious situation, man. So that's the water situation in which, like I say, it's not all the way handled. The way that they're talking about handling it was switching the pipes over and all of that. But then COVID happened, and then all these things happened to where, bottom line, the water's still fucked up in Flint.
That's crazy, man. Like, it's just like, it's crazy because that happens. You know, like we're talking 2014, 2015, but here we are, it's 2020. And you're not hearing about it because, you know, COVID. But now I'm talking to you and it's like, man, it's still going on, but you don't hear about it. So it's like you guys are getting the double whammy, man. You guys are getting the water crisis shit and the COVID. And it just seemed like the government is just like, man, they don't give a fuck, man. And the question I want to ask you, man, like, what's the racial makeup, racial makeup as far as the demographics in Flint, man? What you think it is?
It's diverse. It's diverse, but majority black people from what I see. The east side of town is like Hispanics and more white people over there. There are white people in Flint, but in the poverty stricken, like Flint is one big hood for the most part. Even the parts that used to be nice when I was a kid have turned into the hood. Okay. So it's like, for the most part, you know, if you come to Flint, it's majority black people. You know, there's white people here, but it's majority black people. And different parts of town, you got different, you know what I'm saying, different nationalities of people.
But the majority, it's a majority black city, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Just makes you think, man. I'm gonna leave that at that, man. I'm sending all my prayers out to Flint, man. You know, I hope they get that shit together, man. And you know, that's real. That's like, real.
We need them prayers, man. And
I seen you out there. I remember I saw you out there, man. You was out there, doing your part, man. You know, and I appreciate that.
And shouts to my sis Kiki Palmer, who at the time we did the song "Freshwater for Flint" to bring awareness, you know what I'm saying, to the situation. We went on the show and all of that. So anybody watching this, check out the joint "Freshwater for Flint," Jon Connor featuring Kiki Palmer. And it pretty much summed up what's going on.
No doubt, man. Well, look, I want to shift it over to a little lighter note, man. I remember just seeing you, I don't know if it was IG Live or something, man, but you was chopping it up with DJ Paul, man.
Yeah,
like how's your relationship with DJ Paul now, man? I know you was, you had a couple of joints with him on two of his projects. Matter of fact, how did that come about? Because DJ Paul and Jon Connor are like at the two opposite spectrums, man, when you think about it, man. And when I saw you on his one of his projects a couple of years back, it blew my mind. So talk about that a little bit.
That's my big brother. That's my dog. That's my homie, my ace. Man, if DJ Paul needed a blood transfusion and we matched, I would do it in a heartbeat if he needed an organ. Because, man, the way that it happened, and I'll express why I feel that way about me and his relationship, well, the way that it happened is crazy as shit. Regardless of the style of hip-hop that I do, I grew up on Southern hip-hop heavy.
He's a legend. 3-6, Paul, Juice Man, legends.
Bruh, Lord Infamous, God bless the dead. Coops the nigga, God bless the dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was a big No Limit Cash Money 3-6. That was, as far as from the South, I was on it. You know what I'm saying? Like them, I love Southern hip hop, right?
What is it? Let me ask this real quick, and I don't want to. Please don't forget your train of thought.
No,
I want to interject real quick. Like, what is it with Michigan and their, you know, like their affinity, man, for like Southern hip hop? Like, I know in Detroit they love Jeezy. Jeezy's a god in Detroit, man, and you know, like Flint, man. I know you guys love a lot of Southern hip hop, man. Why do you think is no, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely.
It's very profound when you see, you know, Flint is at the top of the United States, and then you got the South. So I always wonder, like, where's the connection, you know?
If I had to like address any connection, I would say all of our grandparents and shit is from the South for the most part, in Flint and like Detroit, right? Because our grandparents migrated from Mississippi, from Atlanta, from back when the automotive industry was really popping in Michigan. It was a lot of black folks coming from the South up to Michigan to get these dope ass jobs at the time, like in these plants. You know what I'm saying? To become auto workers. Like my grandmother was from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And my papa was from Mississippi. I think I might have got them mixed up. I think my papa was from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and then my grandmother is from Mississippi. Either way, mama, don't be mad at me for that. But you know what I'm saying? But one of my grandparents was from Alabama, one of them was from Mississippi. But for the most part in Michigan, that's a lot of our story, that our grandparents, and they was from the South and came up to Flint and Detroit to get these jobs in the plant. You know what I'm saying? So if I can make any connection to why like we love Southern hip hop like that, is because our roots, all of our roots go to the South. But it's like for us, it's like a lot of our grandparents came up here doing that big boom in the automotive industry, and that's kind of why we, I guess, gravitate to Southern hip hop.
Okay. I also noticed, man, like a lot of you guys, you know, kind of like you know, but I guess, you know, being in the Midwest, that's the Midwest, right?
Absolutely.
You know, I also noticed, man, a lot of people, like I know a couple of people from like Detroit, they like a lot of West Coast music too, man. Like even Breed, like I remember, you know, for a time, man, like he was rocking with the, you know, kind of I won't say it, but when outside looking in, it looked like he was kind of rocking with the West Coast.
With the West. See, that's crazy, right, bro? Am
I out of line for saying that, though?
No, not at all. When I first met DOC, the first thing that he said to me was, "You from Flint?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Eric Breed." That's the first thing that came out of his mouth. Like Breed really was heavy in the West. Like obviously got to get mine with Tupac, and like I said with
Wayne. Well, Andre Rison, that was shot at Andre Rison's house.
Andre Rison house, right? So you know what I'm saying? Like, so Flint ties. The fact of the matter is, like, when you bring up the fact that we in the Midwest, is like we a melting pot for everything. It's like we was listening to everything, because for a long time we didn't really have a sound. So but we heard everything. We was hearing the East Coast, we hearing the West Coast, we hearing down South, we hearing everything. So it's like we had a love for everything that was going on, because for a long time we didn't have really an artist or a distinct sound to call our own. We just embraced everything.
Okay. So look, like I said, man, I remember you did the joint. You was on a couple of, man, you've been on some real dope projects, man. One of my favorite tracks that you did was with Sci-Hi, man, on his story.
Wait. Did I get a chance to finish the DJ Paul thing?
No, yeah, I was about to go ahead. Please.
No, I didn't. If you was going back to, I just was making sure you ain't lose your train of thought.
Nah, please go back to that, man. Talk about that really, because those two songs, man. Tell me about how you link up with Paul and how y'all relationship come about as far as putting out music.
So funny story, how I end up linking with DJ Paul. Obviously, grew up a fan of 3 6 Mafia, and I'll cut it short. So
no, please, no, don't cut it. I want to hear this, man, because I'm a huge Paul fan and I'm a huge Jon Connor fan, man. So it's man, up to you. It's up to you.
It's crazy. So I'm sitting in my bed. I'm in California. I'm watching Wife Swap. Right? Yeah. See, you ain't noticed where this story was going.
So, do that show still come on?
I don't think so. But I think this episode is still on the internet. Y'all can fact check me if y'all want, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm watching Wife Swap, and DJ Paul swaps wives with Plexico Burris, right? Now I knew Plex, you know what I'm saying, from
Michigan State,
because of Mocha, right? So I hit Plex like, Plex, do you still keep in contact with DJ Paul? And he was like, yeah, that's my man's. I'm like, man, bro, I'm a huge fan. I want to work with dude. Grew up listening to him. He like, yeah, I'm gonna connect the dots. He connected the dots. Next thing I know, Paul came to the studio, and once again, it all go back to just connecting and vibing as people. Yeah. But the reason why, beyond the music, like DJ Paul is my brother for life, because it was times that I had to learn things in the music business the hard way. You know what I'm saying? And I remember him asking me like, yo, like, Connor, like, is you good financially? You know what I'm saying? Because he like, yo, you've been signed for a minute. The album haven't came out. So are you good? And it wasn't a lot of motherfuckers asking, are you good? It was people calling me about verses. It was people that was trying to use me to get to Dre. It was people that everybody had their motive and their agenda. And it was a weird time for me because it felt like, damn, like, ain't nobody even giving a fuck about how I'm actually doing spiritually or just in my regular life. And Paul was one of them people like who taught me the game, who like sat me down like, nah, know your business, know this, know that you can get paid from this, know that you can get this, that, and the third. It was a conversation that nobody had with me up until that point, and nobody had cared enough to have with me. So it was like DJ Paul is my big brother for life. And anytime I ever call for just life advice or anything, he always there. That's my brother.
Yeah, I was chopping it up for a good minute. I watched I pretty much watched the whole you know, the conversation, man, and it was dope, man, to see, you know, that because I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw you on those two DJ Paul projects, I was like, wow, like I didn't even know that he even listened to these type of artists, man. And then to see you guys chopping it up on I believe the Instagram Live, like I know that was authentic. Like that wasn't just, let me just get somebody that's hot. Let me just get somebody that can rap their ass off, to fill in, to, you know, like that was an organic relationship, man. Just hearing, seeing you guys chopping it up, man. So that's that. Hey, shout out to DJ Paul, man. He's a legend.
Shout out to DJ Paul, a legend. And I always gotta say this too. And anybody who remembers should always say this, man. Everybody in the game is biting Lord Infamous style, like, you know what I'm saying, all of that.
The Migos flow,
right? Everybody call it the Migos.
Call it the Migos flow,
right? But it's really the Lord Infamous flow. And rest in peace to Lord Infamous and Coops the nigga from 3-6 Mafia, man, legends. Yeah.
I had that Coops the nigga. I had that on. I think I had that on tape. What his first project on tape. That's one of the dopest Southern hip hop projects of all time. But look, when you're talking about your relationship with DJ Paul, and you know, a lot of people don't know, like, man, the industry is big, but it's small.
Super small.
But at the same time, and this from what I'm not in the industry, but I know I have a lot of friends that are artists. Well, I have associates, people, you know what I'm saying? So my question that I pose to you is, like, how many do you think it's hard to really like establish relationships being in the industry, man, opposed to just being just a regular civilian? Because, you know, you mentioned DJ Paul, but it's not a lot of guys like that in the industry when I talk to artists such as yourself, man. So, you know, why is it so hard for a lot of artists, man, to be very transparent with each other and be like helpful and things of that nature?
Because a lot of times people be so concerned with holding on to their spot or holding on to their buzz, and they scared to give people knowledge, information, or help them, because they start having this very cancerous point of view of, well, if I help them, then does that mean less for me? If they start eating, then I'm eating less, which is bullshit, because there's more than enough for everybody. So help anybody and everybody that want the help. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's why that happens, is because people be paranoid. People don't understand that a lot of people in the music industry are very insecure about themselves, about their gifts, about their image, about their time in the industry, about their legacies, about man, it's so, I've seen so many forms of insecurity within the music industry from people that you would feel like are the most confident people in the world, and they really not. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, it's not a lot of real dudes, because to be a real dude, you know, that would mean that you're confident in yourself no matter what. That you're not looking for the validation of these people. You're not looking for validation of nothing else. And it's not a lot of people like that. A lot of people in the music business are looking for validation from another person. They're looking for validation from an establishment, a corporation, a company. So everybody's like trying to play this game of human chess. You know what I'm saying? But it's all based on insecurities and backstabbing, because they're trying to secure a certain spot or a certain level of success. So it's like a who can you trust, and that type of situation. That's why I'm not really a industry dude. I'm in the music industry, but it's like I'm not an industry dude. I'm a real dude. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Flint, Michigan, where, you know what I'm saying, you work hard, you get back what you put in. You know what I'm saying? You be a real dude. You know what I'm saying? You be a solid dude, and then everything gonna come back your way. But in the industry, you just run into a lot of people that, you know, be so insecure just about their spot. So the only way they feel like they can hold on to where they at or their level of success is to shit on and backstab other people. And that's just not a healthy way to live, man.
So when did you come to that acceptance? When did you finally accept that and realize, like, what was there, and then you don't have to speak about that if you don't want to, but if without going into like deep details, if you choose to, when did you accept that, like, this is the industry and this is who I'm going to be? You know, I'm not going to change and do things differently to try to fit in with all the hoopla that's going on. What was the turning point for you? Or have you always, like, have you always felt this way about the industry, you know?
Yeah, it was always that. I'm not gonna say I didn't have moments where I didn't indulge. I never indulged it. I've never shitted on nobody. I've never backstabbed. I've never cheated nobody out no money, not the stuff like that. I definitely had my times of being young, immature when it comes to women. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gotta sow your oats type thing. But, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like, no, I was always this way, because I look at it like, whether it's the film industry, whether it's sports, whether it's music, it's all still life.
Right.
So it's like, don't change the rules of how you live life to fit in the music industry, because life is still life. So those core things that we learn when you a kid, be yourself, treat other people how you want to be treated, work hard and you're going to get back what you put in. Those things still work in every industry. I don't care whether you a plumber or a rapper or a doctor or a movie star. If you take the core essential of the things that you learned when you were a child from the ages of 0 to like 12, those things are the things that will take you through the rest of your life. Everything else that you learn from, like, when you start being whatever an adult is, like, you know what I'm saying? When you start learning those things, I feel like when you you learn what you need to get you through life as a child, and what you learn as an adult is you learn how to lie as an adult. You learn how to cheat as an adult, because when you become an adult, people start justifying these things because, well, this is what you got to do. This is what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? But all you really need,
I'm guilty of that. We all guilty of it.
Yeah, man. But all you need is the shit that you learned from the ages of 0 to 12.
I heard that before, man. I don't remember where I heard that, but you're echoing the sentiment that I've heard like 20 years ago, man. That's real shit though, man. What you're saying.
Well, man, that's I appreciate it, man. That's how I've always lived my life. And it's like, and if I happen to run across people that ain't as kind-hearted or good-spirited or whatever, that's between them and the Most High. I don't gotta, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let, cause other people are living life a certain way, change how I live life, whether I'm in the music business, movie business, whatever business I'm in, I'm still just living life. So like I said, I feel like most people are playing the music industry game by the music industry rules. I play the music industry game by God's rules, and that's just how I am, man.
No, I appreciate that, man. It definitely comes off in the music. And I feel like that's why, you know, people that, and I said, I say this, I don't say this about a lot of artists, man, but I feel like that's why there is a connection with you and your audience, man. Like, you may not have the biggest, you know, records and chart and all of that or whatever. But the only difference, what separates you from these other bigger artists is just the machine. That's the only thing they have on you. Is they have the machine. They don't have the talent. They don't have the music. They just have the machine. And what you also bring, man, is that transparency and that, that humanity. And that's why we connect with you, man. So we need artists like you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You don't know how much, like I said, you don't know how much those words mean. Thank you, man.
Nah, you was real from the first time I hit you up on IG, man. Like, it's artists, man. I know artists that got half as many followers as you do. Half. And they have, like, when I first started doing this, man, I wouldn't even get a response. And I'm like, you're not even as big as this dude or whatever. Right. But you know what I'm saying? So I'm not in the industry, but I can totally identify and understand where you're coming from as far as the popularity contest and the game, the music and the numbers game. It is what it is, man. Like I feel the same way, man. Like, I know I'm dope at what I do, but I don't have those connections like and I'm fine with that. I'll get there. The guys that's on my platform, such as yourself, these are artists that I have picked. These are artists that mean something to me. Absolutely. And they mean something to my audience. And your music, you're not somebody that's, man, I can get Jon. Nah, like you're a big deal to me because your music is a big deal.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
So look, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit, man. So 2018, man, 2018, man, you dropped Vehicle City, man. You got Dr. Dre on it, man. What was that like linking back up with Dr. Dre after, a little quiet for a little bit, man, and boom, Vehicle City come out, man.
So wait, Vehicle City didn't come out. That was the I'm Back freestyle.
That's what I apologize. I stand corrected.
Because man, you had the internet going crazy.
Hey, look, I apologize. I remember him saying on the I'm Back freestyle, Vehicle City coming soon. But before I get to that about the Vehicle City, how was it linking back up with Dr. Dre on the I'm Back freestyle, man? What was that conversation like, man? Because that had the internet in a frenzy, man, in 2018, man.
It was nuts, man. Like it was around Christmas time. That's what's crazy. It was around this time.
It was around this time.
Yep, it was around this time. And I remember he was about to go on vacation. And I remember we was getting set we were supposed to drop Vehicle City. And I wanted to drop something to give people something, to keep it, you know what I'm saying? To kind of get people excited about the project. So I'm like, man, I did this freestyle. I said, bro, I need you to get on this, like to put your stamp on it. He like, all right, let me hear it. So I'm like, cool. We sat in the studio, listened to it. He's like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, let's get it popping. So it was
a timeout. It's another timeout moment, man. So you just call up Dre just like that, like.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, man.
Yeah. No, I feel you, like, because it wouldn't seem like that, right? But
I mean, when I talk, I know I hear a lot of artists, man, and it's hard to get in touch with him. And for you, like, I guess like he rocks with people, he rock with who he rock with, and you just happen to be one of those people that he fucks with.
Yeah, our relationship was that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was big. Our relationship was always been big brother, little brother. I mean, down to us being in the studio to, hey John, he Dr. Dre. So like when a new movie would come out, Paramount Pictures might send him the movie before it come out. He'd be like, yo, John, you want to watch the new Avengers? Like, you know what I'm saying? And we'd fucking watch the Avengers. It'd be me, him, his wife, his kids watching.
So you watched the Avengers with Dr. Dre?
I'm trying to think, was it the Avengers? I mean, I watched a lot of movies over there, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's not.
No, this is great. I'm sorry, man.
I'm not sure that I know it's coming off like that, but that's not a flex.
No, I know. It's just. It goes to show you how special you are, man. I know you're not the accolades type. I know you're not the type that gets, starstruck or anything like that. But I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Dre. A lot of people don't get that close to Dre. I'm just being honest. That's just a fact. That's just a fact.
That is a fact.
So that's a testament of who you are as a man and who you are as an artist for you to be able to get that close to that guy, man, and have that type of relationship. You know, that's
yeah, that's love. That's love. That's love. That absolutely, because that's what it was. It was always, like I said, we connected with each other as humans on a very human level.
Right.
So yep, I hit him up and we go to the studio. He did it. It was crazy watching him do it. You know what I'm saying? Which is always interesting to see his recording process. But it was dope. It was dope, man. He rocked with the freestyle, and then after that, it was on, man. Put it out.
I love that track, man. It was so refreshing to hear you, man. And then now we got the new album, man. We got the new album you just dropped, SOS, man.
Yes.
I was ecstatic, man, when I seen, I go on the different musical sites because I'm always listening to music. I'm always on the internet, man, just listening to music. And I see Jon Connor SOS. I'm like, finally, man, here we go, man. So, man, it's like 17, 20. So it's a dope project, man. Talk about the lead up to this project, man. What was the inspiration behind the title and what was the inspiration behind the album, man?
Well, man, SOS in Morse code and like the military and the Navy, that's like the distress signal. And at the time, like I felt like that's where the world was at, and it's kind of still at. Like the world is in distress. So I just felt like it was necessary for certain things to be said, and certain things to be spoke on. Like it's kind of bittersweet. I take pride in the fact that I did songs like I'm Black, and the other joint, I forgot what I ended up naming. Oh, The Procedure. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's my joint right there, The Procedure.
And it's crazy because those joints were before the George Floyd thing. That was before the Breonna Taylor thing. And it was almost kind of like people started hitting me when that project came out, like, yo, you kind of predicted, you know what I'm saying, like what ended up happening.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, man, like I just felt it in my spirit. So the motivation for that was just feeling like the world was in distress, and I try to always stay spiritually inclined and just stay in tune with just what my God voice is telling me. And at the time, it was like, you need to speak on these certain things. And it just felt so good to speak on those things, to also speak on just being free and being independent again. And like I say, Aftermath was dope. It was like college or high school for me. It was something that I needed to go through to come out with a better understanding of this industry and a better understanding of myself as a person. But it's nothing like being independent and doing what you want to do. So it was just me being happy that I could just put out anything I wanted to, for me to be able to produce my whole project. It was a celebration of me being able to be back. And that's why, and I want to say this to you, bro, that's why there's so many thank you songs on SOS1, because it was me telling
the intro, man.
Yeah, that was for y'all. That was for like you, like who stuck with me and rolled with me and felt the connection with me. It was like, I can't thank y'all enough, because it's rappers that have a song that be popping one summer and you don't hear from them never again, ever. Like it's people that been legends and you don't hear from them again, and people just kind of don't care about them no more. But the fan base of people that rock with my music, y'all like ain't let people forget me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna let nobody forget you, brother. I ain't gonna let nobody forget you. My man, Tito Lopez, wherever you at, brother, come back, bro. Like I remember y'all had a couple of joints together, man. But it's some overlooked artists, man, that like yourself who have great catalogs, man. Like that's the thing. You have not good songs, man. You have a nice catalog of music, man. So I feel like we have to be able to preserve artists like yourself, man, and let the world know, man. Like there is two sides of hip hop, man, as far as the mainstream and the independent. But the mainstream is not better than the independent. It's just more popular. That's it. That's the only difference. It's not better music. It's just more popular. That's it. You know, so
100, absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I said, all them thank you songs on there. Thank you, dog. Like
now you came with it, man. You came that morning motivation, man. That's my joint right there, man. I get up. I know that's my workout song right there, man.
Yeah, with me and this. That's another Flintstone out there in Vegas. Shout out to Dizzy Wright, man.
Yeah, Dizzy Wright, man. Yeah, Dizzy. I ain't heard, and it was refreshing to hear him again too, man, because he had a nice little catalog himself, man. But I don't, things, whatever. But it was refreshing to hear him on that track, man. He spazzed on it, man. The cipher, man. Talk about that cipher, man. Like, what was it like? You got Daylight and brother, like, bro, you had some heavy hitters on that track, man. Like, what was it like putting that particular song together, man? That cipher song, man.
It was dope because for one reason, ain't the cipher like 6 minutes long or like 7 minutes long?
Yeah, that song is long as hell, man.
That's because when I was on a major label,
it don't feel like it though. It don't feel like it when you listen to it though.
Yeah, when I was on the major, it was so critical the things that you could and couldn't do, right? So for me, it was like, I am so happy to be free. If this song is 3 hours long, I don't give a fuck. The fact that I can do what I want to do again was so gratifying. So it's like, I just want to put a bunch of real dudes on a song together. You know what I'm saying? Like that, all of those people that's on the cipher, Chris Webby, Daylight, Kid Vicious, Terminology, my little brother Ace Cabana. Am I missing somebody? Oh, Afro.
It's a lot of dudes on that song. Yeah. I forgot Kid Vicious was on there, man. That's Royce's little brother, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I forgot he was even on there. My bad, yo. I apologize for that, but damn, he's dope. He's dope. Super dope. I'm knocking out a feature for him after we get done doing this.
Okay. But yeah, the cipher was dope because I just wanted to put a bunch of genuine, talented dudes. And what I'm trying to do, honestly, is I want to break that line in the sand that battle rappers can't do songs with mainstream dudes, underground dudes can't do songs with pop dudes. It's like it's stupid. It's all part of the same struggle.
No doubt.
Like
I agree.
That's what it boiled down to. Is like, if you a battle rapper, like, you know what I'm saying, you came up in the same pop. If you black in America, you came through the same struggle as I did. If you make poppy type records, it don't matter. You made it up out the struggle just like I'm making it out the struggle. So it's like, I just want to break these invisible barriers of only these type of artists should work with each other. That shit is silly. So it was a beautiful thing to come out and have such a dope moment on that song, man.
Nah, the reception for that project, man, is been really good, man. From what I'm reading, when I go on to different sites, the different blog sites or whatever, because every blog site or whatever, they covered that project, man, and they loving it, man. I'm loving it. You definitely show that you're back, man. Like you ain't miss a step, you ain't miss a beat. Who was some of the producers that worked on that project with you?
Off top, DJ Silk, my big brother. We met while I was at Aftermath. Like, he was one of the first dudes to like co-sign me. Like, when Dre was asking, like, yo, do y'all fuck with him? DJ Silk was one of them ones, like, yo, that kid is nice. So DJ Silk, my man PEB Rocks. Who else produced it? And I think that's it. And I produced the rest of everything on SOS1.
Yeah, I noticed that, man. What made you wanted to start producing? I remember the first time I think I saw your name in like production credits, I believe, is while you still sleep, either that or Unconscious State, man. Like, how did you get into producing?
But see, that's the crazy part about it, Brody, is like, I was a producer before I was a rapper.
No way.
In high school, that's how I was known. Oh, Deuce, that make the beats. Like, I wasn't known for rapping. Like, I only started rapping because, like, I could never find people that was serious enough or stick with rapping long enough for me to get my beats off. So then I had to actually start trying to get good at rapping because I was real bad at first, like super bad. Like, so it was like, so I had to
hard to believe, but okay. I mean,
yeah, man, it was crazy. But yeah, I was actually a producer first and then I was a rapper. So it's actually cool for me to get back to my roots and now I'm getting back to doing what I've always wanted to do, which is produce fully. And now I'm having other younger artists like my little brother Ace Cabana, like a couple other artists in my company, All Varsity Music Group, that now people is going to get a chance to see everything that I do. Like, along with being an MC and the mixtapes, is I'm producing full projects and all of that. So yeah, SOS when I produce like like 85-90% of it, and then PEB Rocks and my man DJ Silk produced the code, and I'm trying to think.
Who did Black? That with the joint with Daylight. Who did that?
I did Black.
Damn, bro, you man, that beat is crazy.
Thank you.
I love that beat right there, man.
Yeah, I did Black, absolutely.
Wow, bro. Like, man, that's what I'm saying, man. You one of them special artists, man. Like, you know, I definitely feel like, man, we got to give you your flowers, brother, because you've been putting it down. You've been putting it down for a minute, man. You've been putting it down for a minute, man. So all in all, I love that new project, man. SOS out now. Go cop that. Go stream that to death.
Please.
It's a dope project, man. You're not gonna be sorry, man. You got anything? I just saw you, man, on Instagram, man. You got a new Drake. Talk about this, man. I just saw you on Instagram working with EA Ski, man, out of California, man. What's going on with that, man? Is that gonna be a single? Is that gonna be a joint project? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Reflect Music. I don't know if he's dropped it right now. I know he dropped the video. So I don't know if it's on streaming platforms right now, but if by the time this drop, please go listen to Reflect Music, the big homie EA Ski, big bro.
West Coast legend. West Coast
legend. So yeah, man, Ski is another one of them dudes. And I'm glad you asked me about Reflect Music, because I want to, like you giving me my flowers, I love giving people their roses as well. Yeah. Ski is another one of them unsung heroes that where like he's helped so many people in the game. Yeah. He's been that voice of reason. He's been the person that can defuse situations when people are miscommunicating. He's that dude that's gonna make sure your business is tight. He's that dude that's gonna make sure, as far as when, like, man, people don't understand, as a mix engineer, he has such a keen ear. So I'll send Ski my records. It could be records he ain't even got nothing to do with. I'll just send it to him like, hey bro, what should I do different on this? He one of those people. So our bond as well is like big brother, little brother. So it's like that joint Reflect Music is crazy, produced by EA Ski. And I'm humbled and honored to be on the record. Like I say, to share the mic with a West Coast legend, man, it's crazy. But Reflect Music, go check out the video now.
Yeah, man. Hey, I already checked it out. It's dope. That's why I said, man, I'm not about to lead this interview without talking about it, without you know, giving you your props for you and EA Ski, man, for putting that together, man. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving what I'm hearing from you, man. You ain't miss a beat. You ain't miss a step. You got anything else coming, man? You know, I know you got the all varsity. Now, talk about that a little bit, man. When did you decide to start? I forgot to mention that, man, before we end this interview, man. Talk about all varsity music, man. When did you decide to put that together?
Well, man, that's something that I've always wanted to do, like even since high school. And like I say, we talk about it in the documentary, The Road to Legendary, which is coming soon. But I actually started my own company when I was 14 years old. Shouts out to one of my childhood friends, this cat named Jason Monk. When we were 14 years old, 13, 14, we started our own company. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I've always had that mindset of wanting to own my own company and do my own thing and get a game to younger artists and like, steer them on the right path. So now I'm actually is coming to fruition and I'm actually getting a chance to do it, and I'm blessed. And that is like, man, it's on. So All Varsity Music Group right now, my project SOS 2 is on the way. The Road to Legendary docuseries is on the way from All Varsity Music Group. My little brother Ace Cabana, I produced his old project. I think 90. Well, 90.
Where is he from? Where is he? He from Flint?
Yep, he from Flint. He from the crib.
He's dope.
So yeah, I appreciate it, man. Hopefully, when this project come out, he'll get a chance to sit with you too, man. That'd be a beautiful thing.
Oh man, hey, say less. Say
yes,
less.
Man, this project Moonwater is on the way. Like I said, I produced like 90% of it. Okay. Then also, what's coming after that? Man, me and Ace got a project, joint project called Stark Parker that's coming out. Then SOS 3 coming. Then I did a Best in the World tape full of Nas beats. So we going back. Yeah.
Man, you know what? I just realized that when you just said that the last MC who did a project with all Nas beats was also from Michigan.
Word.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Nah, who did he?
Elzai.
See, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he did
Me and Eros got to do some music together, man. That's what
do. You guys do. He just dropped that crazy project produced by J.R. Swift earlier this year, man. He just like you, man. He's still in the booth, man, killing shit, man. Like, yes, man. You brothers is getting better with age, man. What do you think about that, man? Like, I like to ask artists, man, that's around my age group, man, as far as like the age limits in hip hop, man. Like, a lot of people kind of look at it like when you hit like 30, like, like, what's your take on that?
Well, for me, I like to think, and I think I heard Charlamagne the God say this, age appropriate hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Like, for one, like people, and I'm not about to say nothing that nobody else has ever said, but it's like in rock culture, it's dudes that be in their 60s and 70s, like, and then you think of like Johnny Cash and people like that, and Frank Sinatra and
Mick Jagger.
It's like, right, Aerosmith. Why is there no age limit on rock and roll? Why is there no age limit on pop music? Mariah Carey and Beyonce and all these type of people. And why is that like so? Why do we do that? Like, hip hop is so funny, and you know what I'm saying? I love my people, but it's like we gotta stop doing that. We gotta stop doing that. I believe in making age appropriate hip hop. I think that music is like any other journey. The people, the audience should grow up with you. It's like we grew up with Michael Jackson, right? When he was singing "I Want You Back," it was all kids that was loving "I Want You Back." Right. Then when Mike was a teenager, he started making Heartbreak Hotel, right?
Yeah.
That's because the kids that was listening to him when he was 8, they listening to him now that they teenagers. When Mike was in his 20s, now he's talking about Billie Jean, and he's talking about groupies and things like that. Guess what? Those 8-year-old kids from "I Want You Back," they're in their 20s too. So it's like, why do we feel like the audience that grew up with a certain artist aren't interested in hearing that artist's perspective anymore after a certain age? It's like you're still growing, they're still growing, so they still kind of need you to be that voice in their ear to talk to. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it, man.
I love the way you put that, man. I have a very interesting perspective myself, but your perspective, man, I never heard that one right there. As far as like, like you would talk about like Michael Jackson when he was with the Jackson 5, and then when he was a teenager, he was making certain type of music. You mentioned like the Heartbreak, the whole Triumph era Michael Jackson. Then you had the Thriller Michael Jackson. But in a nutshell, his music was growing along with his audience. So
along with the audience.
So I don't understand, like, why do we, for some reason, I think hip hop, man, we do a disservice to our legends, man, and we're the worst when it comes to preserving our own culture, man.
Absolutely.
We are the worst.
I agree.
We are the worst, and I never understood that. Like, even when I look back at like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, I was like, yo, these dudes was still dope. But at 23, 24, man, like nobody was really checking for them like that when Wu-Tang and them. Like when Wu-Tang came out, people don't realize like Big Daddy Kane and Rakim is the same age as like Jay-Z.
That's crazy.
And LL Cool J, like they all around, like we was like, I don't understand, and they was still dope. They still was making great music.
If I may, I think that back in the day, and not saying anybody in particular or specifically, but I think that sometimes the older generation played a part in their own demise as well. Because I feel like instead of embracing the younger generation, it was, oh, we don't fuck with what y'all doing. Or why y'all rapping like that? That ain't real hip hop. Why y'all doing this like that? So now the older generation is causing this resentment in the younger generation. So the younger generation, because they're young and they doing the new thing and they saying, well, fuck this one, fuck that one. Oh, you an old head, you don't know what's up. Now it's making the audience choose. Well, now the audience is like, well, I don't want to be uncool if I'm listening to this dude. You feel me? Because now the new popping young dude just told me that this dude ain't hot. And now the older dude is sounding like a dinosaur because he's not embracing the younger generation. So I think what's happening now, as opposed to what used to happen back then, is you have like, think about how Puff Daddy and French Montana do records together. Think about how Jay-Z put on J. Cole. Think about how Dr. Dre stood next to and put on Kendrick Lamar. So it was like that generation started to get rid of that whole old, young, dynamic, you know what I'm saying? It started to become more cool, where it's like you started seeing the younger and the older artists like respect what each other do, as opposed to like in the 80s and 90s. Once you was an old head, the new generation that was coming in was like, fuck you, we ain't fucking with that. And then the old,
out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here. But now you starting to see more of like, now it's just hip hop is all encompassing and everybody's embracing each other. And I think that's why now you still got Lil Wayne, who's almost 40, if he's not already 40, who could still put out records, and there's nothing weird about that. You got Kanye West, who's in his mid 40s, putting out records, and it's nothing wrong with that. You got Eminem, same way. So it's like, it's because, and look at that, Eminem doing songs with Young and May. Like, you know what I'm saying? You look at Wayne, who collaborates with younger artists all the time. And I think that that's what needs to continue to go. It's like, let's not disrespect the art form that each generation does. Let's respect it, come together and salute each other and make some dope ass music.
No doubt. I always looked at it like that. I agree with everything that you just say. I'm gonna piggyback off what you're saying. And I look at it like this: the same respect that you give your elders, or is the same respect that when you become the elder statesman, that's the same respect that you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So, and the same respect that and it goes vice versa. You can't look down on the youth, and you can't look down on people that's older, because we're all going to get older. We're all young. And we're all going to get older, man. So with the respect, gotta go both ways, man.
Absolutely. So
look, Jon, it's been an honor, man, having you on the platform, brother. I salute everything that you've done, man. This has been a great conversation, man. As far as just talking about life and talking about music, man, I definitely learned a lot. And where could the fans find your music? And where can they find you at on social media?
On social media is at Jon Connor Music. That's JONCONNOR Music. And music ain't spelled crazy with a Z or no shit like that. It's MUSIC. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at Jon Connor Music on all my social platforms. And you can get all of my albums. Well, not all of them yet, but you can get my music on all streaming platforms, Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music. But actually in 2021, we re-releasing all of the old projects from season 2 to the Calling Part 2. Everybody Hates Connor. We putting all of those as we release the docuseries, we're gonna release those old projects. So y'all just stay tapped in. And I want to say something too, because you told me you was from DC, and I see the Bullets jerseys. Listen, DC has the most beautiful black women in the world. I don't know how this is possible. I just had to say this because I don't know if there'll ever be another interview where I get the opportunity to big up the black women in DC. Nah,
bro, you already know, bro. You got me, brother. Like you whenever you need an opportunity to get you or whatever off, man. Hey, holla at me, brother.
I mean, listen, love to my Flint queens, love to my Detroit queens, because there's some beautiful ones at the crib. But listen, y'all be having there's just an abundance of beautiful black women. It's like crazy. So I just wanted to take the time.
Hey, you told no lies. You told no lies, brother.
Yeah, straight up, man.
Jon Connor, it's been an honor having you on the platform, man. I can't wait till 2021 come out, man. Documentary, new music. I'm looking forward to these artists, man. All Varsity Music. We love you, man, and just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Love you, man. Love.
Nah, brother, you stay up, man, and you have a good night, brother.
Absolutely, you too, man. Stay safe and stay positive, bro. Love.
No doubt, no doubt. Take care, brother.